HTTP methods. What are they? How can I use them? Firstly, what is HTTP? I mentioned this in an earlier video, but just to review, HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's an application protocol for distributed, collaborative, and hypermedia information systems. It is the foundation of data communication in www, created by Timothy Berners-Lee in 1989. The request-response system works as follows. For HTTP requests, your request will look something like this, and your response will look something like on the right side. The very first part of the request is actually the HTTP request method, which you see here is GET. Afterwards, we include the resource that we're looking specifically for. Slash would typically mean like the root or index.html file, so google.com. You implicitly do a slash, and then it's the HTTP version. There's no resource method name included in the response. So what is a request method? HTTP defines a set of request methods to indicate the desired action to be performed for a given resource. While each of them implements a different semantic, common features can be shared, including safety, idempotency, and cacheability. So what does it mean to be idempotent? An HTTP method is considered idempotent if it can be made once or several times in a row with the same effect while leaving the server in the same state. In other words, it should not have any side effects aside from logging and analytics. So for example, if I go on google.com and I load it up, that would be a get page with slash with possibly HTTP-1.1. If I do it once, it will yield the same results on the server side as doing it twice. There will be no noticeable difference aside from any analytics from their end. So what does it mean to be safe? An HTTP method is considered safe if it leads to a read-only operation. Therefore, we can safely conclude that all safe operations are idempotent. So what does it mean to be cacheable? A cacheable response is an HTTP response that can be cached. For example, stored to be retrieved later. In order to be cached, 3 criteria must be met. First, the request method used is cacheable, so only some request methods are deemed cacheable. And the status code of the response is known and cacheable, and I gave a list below of the ones that are known and cacheable. Lastly, there's no specific headers in the response that prevents caching, which includes the cache control header. So there's 9 different HTTP request methods. So the first one, these 3 are very basic: get, head, and post. Get, which retrieves the representation of the requested resource, such as a web page. Head is similar to get, except it doesn't include the request body as part of the response. Post submits an entity to the specified resource, often causing a change in state or side effect in the server. Now the next 3 is put, delete, and connect. Put replaces all current representations of the targeted resource with the requested payload. Delete will actually delete it, while connect establishes a tunnel to the server identified by the target resource, which can include a tunneling such as HTTP tunneling or SSH. Now for the last 3 is options, trace, and patch. Options describes the communication options for the targeted resource, while trace performs a message loopback test along the path to the target resource. Lastly, patch applies partial modification to a resource. So there's different properties of HTTP methods. You can pause the video if you're interested in all of these in depth, but some that I want to highlight is the request has a body, only post has it, get does not have a body as defined by the HTTP standard, even though some people misuse that. Also notice that for a successful response, delete may have a successful response. And then for idempotent, post is not considered idempotent, which is another critical observation. And then for post, it is only cacheable if freshness is included. So let's do a quick quiz. So question number 1, which of the following are idempotent? I'll leave 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1. The answer is get, delete, and options. Question number 2, what is options? 3, 2, 1. Options can be used to describe the communications options for the targeted resource. So I never actually gave an example of this, but this is an HTTP response. We can see over here we have the allow, and then over there we have a list of different options. So options, get, head, and post. Those are HTTP request methods that you can do to this resource. And what is the difference between put and post? 3, 2, 1. The difference between put and post is that put method is called when you have to modify a single resource, which is already part of the collection. While post, you actually add the child resource under a resource collection. So post is not idempotent. So just to review, we learned about the introduction to HTTP methods, characteristics of HTTP methods, and the different types of HTTP methods. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe for new videos every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. See you all next week.